Hey everyone, it's Nicholas Wilton at Art to Life, and I want to talk about kind of a hack for keeping your art in going in a certain direction and turning out how you want it to turn out. And a thing I like to think about a lot is thinking about it in terms of the feeling, not the thing. And that's what I write in my sketchbook. It's the feeling, not the thing, meaning that it's not about what it actually kind of really looks like. It's the feeling that that thing that looks like that gives you. And what's so great about this, I learned this doing illustration actually, is that we're always given literal parameters around like, oh, this is the thing, it has to be like this, or I think of my art and I always paint seagulls, and so it has to look a certain way. And it's very limiting when we think literally like that. When I was an illustrator, I was always given assignments, and it was challenging because they would say, well, this is our company, and make an illustration and show the corn, and then that corn is brown and make it brown. And it was really a bummer because I wanted to have more freedom to interpret it. And one of the things that I said a lot to people that were trying to control me is like, well, before we get into you telling me exactly what you want me to paint, tell me the feeling you want to give me. You want the viewer to see, like, what's the feeling of this annual report? What's the feeling of your company? And it was cool because then they had to leave the real world and say, well, we're a young company and we want to feel, we create opportunity for people. So we want to give people the feeling of hope. That's what we want. And then I could argue with them and say, well, actually showing a picture of a chef in a hat with a certain kind of food isn't the way to do that. Does that make sense? So the illustration where I really learned this on, I want to share it with you because I was cleaning up and I found this. This is the artwork I made for the Four Agreements. I made it a long time ago. And the reason I took this project was because the publisher had hired an illustrator and they had no more time or money. And I loved these opportunities because I knew that if they weren't going to pay me very much, I would have total freedom to interpret it the way I wanted. She had no choice at this point. So I took these jobs a lot because I knew that the art I made when I wasn't constrained, when I could make something that just had to feel a certain way, it was always better. And so there wasn't a lot of art direction with this, but the Four Agreements is a Buddhist text. It's these ideas about self-transformation. Has nothing to do with flower arrangements, but there's 4 of them. And there's a certain feeling to the book. And if you've read it, and I did, and this was the answer to that. And then this became really the signature of the book and went on to other things and became hugely popular. And Oprah picked the book up and it went crazy. And it really convinced me that making art based on the feeling is much more freeing to do it that way. So a hack, even now when I think about this, if you can start thinking about, forget about where your art is and what it even looks like now. Think about, get in touch with what you want it to feel like. Even write it down. And then that doesn't limit you in any way, shape, or form when you're making it. So you can have that in your mind and you can run a check against that when you're halfway through your painting. You say, is this the feeling? Is this actually like, wait a second, I got all seduced because I was painting this seagull and I can do it really well, but that's not the feeling I want to have. I want to have the feeling of the open air or whatever it is. So, and by the way, this hack works in everything. We're not talking about art. We're talking about life. Things that don't feel right, if you pay attention to what things you like, what feels right for you, and you're walking around knowing that, then when things come into your world, you can determine whether they fit or not by how they feel. So I just think it's a fantastic way to not art direct your work, but to just guide it. And it's basically what you're doing. The feeling part of you is the soul part of you. And that's what makes the really powerful art. So substitute soul for feeling. And that's why we want to get your work, all of our work, to feel like the inside of us more and more and more. So, Uh, if you can actually write this down in your sketchbook or whatever, try to get that down and start thinking about that. What I love about this is when you do it, sometimes you look at your work that you've been making for 3 or 4 years, and then you look at what you want it to feel like, and there's a disconnect. And it's like, wow, that's so powerful to realize and start moving your work towards what you want it to feel like. Anyway, I would love to hear your comments on this. I think it's a really great way to keep track of your work when you're doing it. I'd love to hear your feedback and ideas on it. And I thought a really cool thing would be if we all tried to like write down our 4 to 8 word tagline of what we're doing. You know, just a really short sentence, and post it in the comments. Because when you put it out there and people see it and respond to it, it kind of makes it real. And it's hard to do, but it's so gratifying when you kind of get it. And again, I've got another, this is all from cleaning up. This is what happens when you clean up your studio. I have another giveaway for the best Doozer tagline. This is the 4 Agreements collection. It's 3 of the books. Actually, I illustrated all of it. So this will be cool. So next week I will announce who gets that, but that'll be fun. So go ahead and leave some comments, and thanks a lot for being here. Okay.